I just want to welcome you to the American Legion Post 370. I see a lot of new faces tonight. If you've not been, well, people already have their hands up. I was going to say, if you haven't been here, raise your hand. But I don't want to confuse the guys with the tickets. So welcome. Hope to see you back here again. If you have not been here, we have restrooms right out these doors also. But we also have some in the club room. Hopefully you had the opportunity to get a drink and some food. If not, some of our staff, they'll be poking their heads in periodically. So if you need something to drink, please try to wave them down, and they'll help you out. We have so much to do tonight. I'm not really going to say anything. I'm not going to take up any time other than asking, if you are a member of the American Legion, we thank you so much for your membership. If you're not a member, this would be a great opportunity to be a member of our Post 370 family. You do not have to be a veteran to be a member, as you can see. There are many great posts in the area, although we would love to have you here. Normally, I would introduce some of our American Legion bigwigs over here, but again, we're pressed for time, so we're going to move on. At this time, I'm going to introduce Jeremiah Bull to come up for the prayer and pledge.
All right, everybody stand and remove your caps and bow your heads. Almighty God, we give thanks for the veterans who have served our nation, offering their courage and sacrifice for our freedoms. We pray for healing for those who bear the wounds of war, both physical and emotional, and for their families who have supported them. We ask for peace in our communities and in the world, and for unity among all people. May we honor their service and strive to create a society where all are valued and respected. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. Hello. How is everyone? Good. I'm Paul Chappa. I'm the founder of F.I.S.H. One of the things we like to do to get everybody fired up, which I need some. I'm on very little sleep. Anyway, I want to hear from the Army. Army. Yeah. Marine Corps. Yeah. Holy cow. Navy. Yeah. Navy's all over here, it seems like. Air Force. Yeah. Right on. Coast Guard. Hey. Yes. Yes. Yes! Thank you, Commander Marcus. Awesome. Space Force? Not yet. Not yet. It will happen. It will happen. We have a lot of incredible people here tonight. I see a couple colonels. Colonel from RLS-4 right here. How are you? Welcome. Colonel Clark, welcome. Sergeant Major, welcome. And to all the moms. Mom, Mother's Day's around the corner Sunday. Happy Mother's Day. It's also my birthday. You don't want to know how old I am. I'm really old. But tonight's going to be a really exciting night. But before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about F.I.S.H. We've been awfully busy. This was Tuesday night. Tuesday night, we're at the Royals. For those of you that don't know, F.I.S.H. is a little nonprofit started in Olathe, service dogs, mobility chairs, all kinds of things. Basically, we call it going fishing. The vets, as you guys know, most veterans will never ask for help. So we go and find them. And every single one of you is a fisherman for fish. So if you know of someone that could use this service dogs, mobility chair, etc., you let us know. But this was Tuesday night at the Royals game. This is little Fitzy, named after Al Fitzmaurice, who is a dear friend of F.I.S.H., a big supporter of ours. And there's a young man that received it. Stephen, right there. Stephen! Stephen! Like so many guys in the room here, like Mark Miller over there, so many others. Mark over there. He was in the Marine Corps and then went into the Army. So Marine Corps, Army, Marine Corps, Air Force. And I know there's others of you in the room, but this cross-dressers. I wasn't going to say it, because I didn't serve, but, right. Next picture, please. Next slide. So our 12th annual golf tournament, we've moved from Falcon Lakes after 11 years. We moved over to Prairie Highlands so the 129th can continue to bring in their units and a lot of soldiers to harass our golfers, etc. I wish I could say there's more room for you if you've not signed up, but it's a little late. We already have approximately 160 golfers already. Every year it sells out. It's not your regular golf tournament. They're going to have to wear body armor on a couple holes and throw rubber grenades, and we'll have, like I said, guys in uniforms, you know, harassing them for fun. And hopefully we'll be presenting another service dog that day as well. Next slide. This is our first ever Friends and Service Heroes campout, family campout. And it's north of St. Joe. It's June 27th to the 29th. And Justin just informed me that we only have room for 10 more people. Is that right, Justin? So if you've not signed up, please get signed up before it's too late. And here we are every third Wednesday, and in fact, every second Wednesday too. First Wednesday, third Wednesday, Jeremiah has been leading our Veterans Fire Group, where we ask two questions. What's God telling you? What are you doing? And, you know, it's open to all veterans. It's just a safe place for them to meet. And, again, just talk about those two questions and have fellowship. All right. So you probably know our buddy Mark over there. Mark is one of our board members, but Mark spoke at a F.I.S.H event back when we were at Outlaw Cigar about 7-8 years ago. Yeah. So really lucky to have Mark not only on the F.I.S.H team, F.I.S.H family, but he's going to be our speaker next month. And then in July, we have Colonel John Clark, retired. Colonel Clark was a POW in Vietnam. And Doc met him, has an incredible story that he's going to be sharing with all of you. So please, don't miss that. Invite all your friends and family. And I think I went through this. You know, F.I.S.H, we have 3 pillars: health, recognition, and support. So a lot of things fall into that. But bottom line, we want to get involved. I call it the ESP, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. It might be a situation where they need a mobility chair. It might be a situation where they just need, like I said, the fire, do a fire, and a lot of different things. So again, F.I.S.H is here just to help our veterans and help their families and help our active duty. You know, F.I.S.H started out as food industry serving heroes, where we just fed our troops. Started out with the Marine Corps. And one thing has led to another, and it's just been an amazing thing to watch. Next slide. All right, so our speaker tonight, it is going to be an incredible night. I'm really thrilled. I mean, Colonel was at your Marine Corps ball last November that I first met this young man over here. And if you will allow me, the bio is quite extensive. It's not surprising, but let me get through this. All right, CW3 Marine Gunner, one of the rarest, I guess, ranks that you can get in the Marine Corps. Tom Parks, USMC, retired, shipped to Parris Island for Marine Corps recruiting training on 26 September 1983. After graduation from boot camp, he was assigned to Infantry Training School aboard Camp Pendleton and earned the MOS 0311, Infantry Rifleman. While at ITS, Gunner Parks passed the 3rd Reconnaissance Battalion Indoctrination and was subsequently assigned to 3rd Recon Battalion aboard Camp Schwab, Okinawa. While at 3rd Recon, Gunner attended several professional military schools and several deployments in support of Asia-Pacific Theater. Upon completion of his tour in Okinawa, Gunner was assigned to Marine Barracks at Adak, Alaska, where he was assigned as a corporal of the Guard in March 1986. After 1-year tour on Adak, Gunner was assigned to 1st Marine Division, 2nd Battalion, 7th Marine. Reduced in rank to Lance Corporal, Parks served as fire team leader, deployed with 2-7 to Okinawa under 9th Marine Regiment for a 6-month unit deployment. Gunner was promoted meritoriously to corporal again. That's going to be a good story. When I first read that, I was like, am I reading that right? I think I am. Upon return from his first sea service deployment, the Gunner was assigned to 1st Marine Division Headquarters Battalion, where he was a troop handler for incoming Marines and deserters. In April of 1989, Gunner was assigned 3rd Battalion, 9th Marines as an infantry squad leader. 3-9 deployed to Desert Storm in August 1990. While waiting in Saudi Arabia for 7 months to cross the line of departure into Kuwait, Gunner was promoted sergeant. After Desert Storm, the Gunner and 3-9 deployed to Somalia and served as a squad leader during combat operations. After After Somalia, orders were received for instruction duty at the School of Infantry, where Gunner was assigned as a tactics instructor, close combat instructor. In November 1984, Parks was assigned to 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines as a platoon guide and infantry platoon sergeant. During his time with 3-5, Gunner was chosen to be the squad leader for the annual rifle squad competition, known as Super Squad. The squad won the competition for the 1st Marine Division and was honored at the Marine Barracks 8th and I at the evening parade. In January 1986, Gunner was ordered to Drill Instructor School, Parris Island, South Carolina. Upon completion of DI school, Gunner was assigned to 3rd Recruiting Training. By the way, were you watching the B-roll? I don't know if you guys saw that. That was like a recruiting video from the Marine Corps. That was the guy right there. Anyway, Parks was designated as a green belt drill instructor for 2nd cycle, was promoted staff sergeant, worked 6 cycles as a senior drill instructor in 1997. Gunner was chosen to have his platoon as the face of the Marine Corps recruiting video. Here we go. Forged with spirit and pride. In 1998, Parks was awarded as the drill instructor of the year for the Marine Corps and was promoted meritoriously to gunnery sergeant. Gunner extended his 2-year DI tour to 3 years and became a series gunnery sergeant for Mike Company, 3rd Recruiting Battalion. His last assignment at Parris Island was as drill instructor school squad instructor. Upon completion of his tour on the drill field, Gunner was assigned back to 1st Marine, 3rd Division, 3rd Battalion, 1st Marine Regiment as a weapons platoon sergeant and later company gunnery sergeant for Kilo Company 3-1. November 2000, 3-1 deployed aboard USS Tarawa to the Western Pacific under 13th Marine Expeditionary Unit. During his deployment, 3-1 trained and provided security throughout the Western Pacific and provided security to the U.S. Cole when it was attacked by a suicide bomb while refueling at the port of Yemen. In 2001, 3-1 returned to Camp Pendleton. 1st Marine Division Gunnery Sergeant Parks was selected for the rank of 1st Sergeant, but decided on selection of Chief Warrant Officer 2 and become a USMC Infantry Weapons Officer or Marine Gunner. Upon completion of the basic school, Infantry Officers Course and Small Arms Weapons Course of Quantico, the 6th newly promoted Gunner was assigned to Aberdeen Proving Grounds for heavy weapons orientation. Gunner was then assigned back to 1 Marine Division, 1 Battalion, 4th Marine Regiment as a Battalion Weapons Officer. In 2002, the Gunner deployed with Task Force 58 to Afghanistan, where Parks led the training of all weapons aboard ship, then in an adversarial role for the battalion during ground combat operations in Afghanistan. In 2003, 1-4 deployed again aboard the ship for Operation Iraqi Freedom, OIF. In March 2003, 1-4 crossed the line of departure to secure Baghdad. Once secured, the insurgency began. The Gunner deployed for OIF-2 in 2004 in support of Fallujah and the Anbar province. The Gunner returned from the Middle East and was assigned as 1st Marine Division School's Gunner until his retirement in October 2005. Gunner's decoration include the Silver Star, Purple Heart, Meritorious Service Medal, Navy Marine Corps Accommodation Medal ×3, Navy Marine Corps Achievement Medal ×3. Upon his retirement from the Marine Corps, Tom received his undergraduate degree in management and has held several corporate positions as a Director of Operations at APU Solutions, National Sales Trainer, Greenleaf Recyclers, speaker on the 2008 Vets for Freedom National Heroes Tour with David Bellavia, Pete Hegseth, Marcus Luttrell, just to name a few, and to promote the book, Heroes Among Us, and the Silver Star. Country music and managing director for 4, he was a Silver Star country manager and director for 4 security companies in Afghanistan and Iraq, director of government accounts with Veteran Corporation and senior project manager at International Services Incorporated. 2002, Tom joined the PGA of America. He's a pretty good golfer. As an associate and is currently working to become a golf professional, although I think there's some talk about that. He currently is a national trainer for the PGA Hope program and runs the First Tee program in North Kansas City. And he's married to the lovely Stephanie over here, Stephanie. And they have 6 children and 6.5 grandbabies, 7's on the way. Yeah, so before I get Tom up here, I want to play a short little video, and let's crank that up. From a friend of yours, Tom. That's Lieutenant General John Toolin.
when we took over and knocked the Iraqis out of knocked the Iraqis out of Iraq. But we continued the attack. We continued to operate. We eventually got to the area in and around Nasiriyah. We had a pretty decent fight there. But other than that, it was really limited. I think that one of the things that we did well was that because of the leadership of a battalion and the staffing COs and officers that they had, that the people of Iraq seemed to take to the offers that we made to help work with the communities as we went through those towns and places looking for chemical weapons, looking for Iraqis hiding and defending in hide places, to establishment of counter-IED operations as they went into Baghdad. It became a very busy time, and we learned as we went. Sometimes it was the hard way. But Tom did some things that I think were remarkable, and that really set the tone for what was going to happen for the next couple of years. And that is, we got to win the people over. We've got to convince them that we are there and they're there to help them get through this difficult time. And that we needed their support, and we promised them our support, so that their young children who were operating and playing and conducting activities near their homes and schools, we would keep them safe. We would to dismount where necessary, clear IEDs, work with the local communities, get them their confidence, let them know how the IEDs were taken care of. And if in fact there were engagement where there was live fire, which happened numerous times, Fallujah, the very first time it was under attack, was in early 2003. The problem was that we were drawn into some of these towns. Fire was activated, and now you had firefights going on inside the cities, and civilians were being killed. Property was being destroyed. It's almost set a tone for just rubble the place and then clear it out later. That's not how you win the narrative. That's not how you win the conflict. It's not how you win this war. You win this war by professional activities, guided by your principles, to take care of the people that we're now charged with taking care of. And Tom Parks demonstrated that on numerous occasions. One in particular, which is the place where he was awarded the Silver Star for his heroism, but really is for his moral courage, more so than his physical courage. Because he was willing to do things, tell commanders that this is not a good idea, this is not a good idea, this is where we got to do this. And between Tom Parks and others, working with the battalions, I think we were able to win over some of that narrative. It's a long war. It was a tough one. It was a tough slog, but it wouldn't have been able to be successful if it wasn't for the men who made those decisions. So Tom, I need a chance to say thank you to you and your fellow compatriots in 1-4 and others. But thank you for all you did. You were a remarkable Marine, and we owe you an awful lot. Thank you.
So Lieutenant General Tulin really wanted to be here. He is watching right now. Robbie wants me to send his regards to you as well. But at this time, I'd like to ask Master Sergeant Vincent Morales to come up and share a little information. You got a mic, all right?
Test, test, test. Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, veterans. So I'm actually, so I'm on active duty right now, but I actually had my retirement ceremony, a month ago? It's my colonel, my sergeant major happened to be here. But when Tom asked me to do this, he asked me to just make sure I introduce him. When he asked me, I guess I didn't do the timing right because I'm Native American, so I told a few of you, but it took me like a month to grow some hair after I retired. And here I am. I had to shave it today. So Tom, I love you to death, but thank you. All right. But it is my pleasure to be able to introduce him today. But in true Marine Corps fashion, when you do that, I wanted to capture something, right? We heard the bio, we heard what General Tulin had to say, and if you really want to know if you really want to capture the character of a man, I mean, how he performs in battle is one way to do it, right? Basically, how he performs under pressure. So I want to do this the Marine Corps way, and if you don't mind, can you folks please rise? Attention to orders. The President of the United States takes pleasure in presenting the Silver Star to Chief Warrant Officer Thomas F. Parks III, United States Marine Corps, for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity in action against enemy while serving as Battalion Infantry Warrant Officer, 1st Battalion, 4th Marines, Regimental Combat Team 1, 1st Marine Division, 1st Marine Expeditionary Force in support of Iraqi freedom on 3rd April 2003, when the battalion's forward combat element was engaged by enemy forces in intense small arms and rocket fire. Chief Warrant Officer Parks dismounted to direct the security operations, exposing numerous times to enemy fire. He was moved from position to position, encouraging Marines and directing the employment of their fires to neutralize enemy strong points. During the fighting, Chief Warrant Officer Parks personally dispatched 3 enemy personnel, including a sniper, amidst a hail of machine gun fire and sniper fire. Chief Warrant Officer Parks destroyed an enemy T-55 tank with an AT-4 rocket and proceeded under heavy small arm fire to direct the employment of an American tank. As a result of his orders, the tank was able to destroy several enemy bunkers and strong points. By his outstanding display of decisive leadership, ultimate courage in the face of heavy enemy fire, and amidst devotion to duty, Chief Warrant Officer Parks reflected great credit upon himself and upheld the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the United States Naval Service. At ease. Please be seated. Ira. One of my great friends. So without further ado, I have the pleasure and honor of introducing you to Chief Warrant Officer Gunner Thomas Parks.
So I didn't expect General Tulin to be on the call, but thank you for being here with us, General Tulin. Those Vietnam vets that are with us, thank you. You're the ones that kind of showed me. You were my platoon sergeants, my squad leaders. Doc, remind me to talk about PGA Hope. David, thank you, and thank you. Colonel McClellan, thank you for being here. Sergeant Major Robertson, I appreciate it. And any other colonels or general officers that I've missed. That affected me, Paul. You should have let me know. Lieutenant General Tulin is dealing with a disease, and his message was heard loud and clear. Today I'm going to talk about, ask me what I was. I was a Marine, right? If you're a Marine, you understand that. And if it's been up long enough, and eventually I'm going to gain my composure and talk to you about what we're going to talk about today. Trauma is something I want to talk about. I want to talk about my 20 years now. I've been 20 years this year. I've been retired from the Marine Corps. And I never expected to be old. I never expected to have gray hair. I expected to die at 30, and I've had 30 more years on top of that. So what do we talk about? We talk about I'm going to give a couple of life lessons that I've learned in the short time I've been around at the end. But we're going to talk about a little bit about my career, but the trauma that goes on. I was hoping more young people would be here to hear my story. Yeah, it was a cool career. You kind of heard about that. Time on deck is 1919, so I'll try and get through this pretty quickly. But Paul, you could have let me know, man. So let's talk about trauma and where that comes from. Some of us were raised in a traditional family. The only one that understands where I came from is my wife Stephanie, because I've told her that. They divorced when I was 5. I was born in 65. So 5 years old. My dad was a Marine. I always wanted to make him proud. My mother was a very pretty lady, and once they divorced, she hung out with people like the Black Panthers and Hell's Angels and stuff like that. So I got to see that. My dad was quite successful. He moved on and made a lot of money, but he wasn't there for me. I was 16. I had a conflict with him. We fought, and I became an emancipated youth down in the Philadelphia region. I did some bad things, assault, underage drinking, of course, at 16. I had to pay my rent, but I would, this is the story about how you can polish a turd. I always said in the Marine Corps, you can't polish a turd, man. You just can't polish a turd. But I've realized recently, with the help of my wife Stephanie, that you can polish a turd, man. Assault, underage drinking, auto theft. So Tredyffernishtown Township in Pennsylvania had a, thank you, yeah, Armand Pamonte was the judge there, and maybe you know him. Judge Pamonte decided that I needed to go to jail for my antics, destruction of government property, all that stuff. I didn't have any guidance. As much as I really was proud of my father, he wasn't present. So I went where I could get some attention. My mother couldn't take care of me, so again. So Armand Pamonte suggested that I go to jail. And this is 16, so you're going to go to an underage jail, a detention facility or something like that. For some reason, my mother slept with him, and that became a choice. So I had a choice. I could either go to jail, and this is 1983, folks. It was, I mean, you would think things were more progressive, but Judge Pamonte, after sleeping with my mother, decided I had a choice. I could go to the Marine Corps or I could go to jail. So I had choices. I decided that I didn't want to be isolated, so I joined the Marine Corps. I went in the Marine Corps, and I was 17 years old. I kept out of some kind of a system that they had. And I still wanted to make my father proud. We didn't talk until I graduated from recruit training. Still trying to make him proud. I get sent to 3rd Reconnaissance Battalion. This is helpful for me, these little pictures. 3rd Reconnaissance Battalion, you Vietnam vets will understand that there were some holdovers in 1983 that left the Marine Corps or the Navy, and my team leader hazed me so bad that I had to go to schools. I requested to go to schools. So I went to jump school, went to ranger school, went to SEER school, went to sniper school, and anything to get me away from the team and the team leader. It wasn't a very good culture out there at Camp Schwab in Okinawa. So a lot of knowledge, I thought, but I was still a knucklehead. I was still that turd that needed to be polished, very in shape, very operational. We moved on to Adak, Alaska. They sent me to Adak, Alaska, and I'm guarding nuclear weapons. That was kind of cool. In 1986, when they sent me there, females were not allowed on ships. So they'd ship them in every 3 months, and that was something. So Adak, Alaska was on a clear day, you could see Russia, contrary to what Sarah Palin said. It was way out there if you've seen the Aleutian chain, and there was all kinds of World War II wreckage and stuff like that. And I had meant to talk about the people that talked to me while I was in the Marine Corps. When I was going to all those schools, the sniper school, we had Carlos Hathcock was speaking to us before he had ALS, like the general does. You had 3 war veterans come and talk to you, man. These are World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. You had these Vietnam vets that were just, they'd tell you these stories about, man, that's just crazy. How did you do that? And I still didn't understand. But they told the stories, and you listened, and you were enamored by these people. These were heroes, man. It was such a wonderful time to see them speak, and to see these Vietnam vets here today. It makes me smile. So from Adak, I did that tour as a corporal of guard, stuff like that, guard nuclear weapon. Oh, once in a while I'll have a picture of Chesty Puller in here just to motivate you. And this is what I said when I left Adak, Alaska. And if you've been there, anybody been there? Adak? Yeah, you know. Yeah, you know. You know. You don't want to be there. 2-7, I get to 2-7. I got a lot of knowledge. I'm a corporal. You can make decisions practically. Immediately, I get my first introduction to the Marine Corps non-judicial punishment system. And I'm on 90 days restriction at Camp San Mateo in Camp Pendleton, kicking it there. This is right around the time Clint Eastwood did the film Heartbreak Ridge, out at Talega. So we got to be extras, stuff like that. 7th Marines, 90 days restriction and a lot of money taken away from me. Moving on, we went on deployment. I pinned on corporal again. They still had me as a team leader at 2-7. And Colonel Vargas, anybody remember Colonel Vargas? He was a Medal of Honor recipient. He was one of our regimental commanders. That was kind of cool. Chesty again. So I moved from 2-7. I'm getting ready to go to 2-9, but they have some place I can go hang out, get a little time off. And so I go over to Mainside on Camp Pendleton, California, work for the 1st Marine Division as a troop handler. And this is when you're checking into, and it's old squad bay, some of you people with gray hair remember it. One side would be all the people checking into the division that you'd have to do their administrative paperwork and march them up to get them sent to their units within 1st Marine Division, wherever it was. The other side was deserters. Does anybody remember the deserters? Yeah. They had a D painted on their T-shirt. Some were from Vietnam. Some were from your era. And they'd come back with big beards. We'd make them shave it off with a Bic razor. And so the deserters, until they got their final paperwork, they'd do working parties around 1st Marine Division over on Mainside. So that was kind of neat. The ego was starting to build at this point. So then 3-9, 3-9, we went to Desert Storm. We took a lot of prisoners in 3-9 at Desert Storm. And then we came back and everything was cool, but then Somalia, you remember that? It was like 1992, Somalia, Black Hawk Down, something like that. Yeah, we were there. So we ended up going there, and that kind of sucked. And then there's Chesty again. I mean, what else motivates you than Chesty on Guadalcanal, right? School of Infantry was next. The School of Infantry was very interesting. One of Clint Eastwood's bars that he filmed the movie Heartbreak Ridge in was called the Swallow's Inn. And we were all tactics instructors and close combat instructors. So we decided we're going to be the bouncers at the Swallow's Inn. And these are, if you've been to the Swallow's Inn, you know it has sawdust on the deck, and they're dancing. And these country boys get real pissed off once they get drunk. So that was our training time. So we got to go and train and do that. So Swallow's Inn, that's what we did for about 3 years. We were also part of the new Marine Corps martial arts program, which is more ground fighting. So they had Hoist Gracie and Ken Shamrock come into the School of Infantry and beat our asses for about 3 years. So that was fun. And that's what they do now, the belt system within the Marine Corps. So that was kind of neat to be a part of that when I was at the School of Infantry. Non-deployable, so that was kind of cool. Moved on to 3-5. That's me with dark hair, believe it or not. 3-5. So 3-5, we get to 3-5, and I'm a platoon guide and then a platoon sergeant. We go through a deployment with the 31st MU, 31st MU. And if I'm talking hieroglyphics to these Army and Air Force and Navy people, I really don't care. So we're with the 31st MU. We do a deployment with them. We take care of the South Pacific, stuff like that. And we get back from that deployment, and I put together these ragtag bunch of dudes, and there's Chesty again. We put together these ragtag bunch of dudes with General Krulak there awarding us, and that's my father, by the way. Remember, we had a relationship after I graduated from recruit training with General Krulak, and we won Super Squad, man. It was pretty cool, man. So a bunch of us, that's the Super Squad badge that I've, of course, lost by now. But it was pretty cool, and we went to 8th and I, and then they awarded us our whole squad, and we got to wear this gold badge the rest of our careers in the Marine Corps. So it was kind of neat. And the young guys, you know, they give you a big trophy, but you don't get to keep that, do you, Colonel or Sergeant Major? You got to put that in the friggin' in the area of 3-5 keeps that. You don't keep that. But General Labuti handed it to me. Yeah, you always got to show, Ted Williams and Don Zimmer too. Sorry. That being said, the Commandant of the Marine Corps, General Charles Krulak, asked me, hey, what do you want to do? I was like, I'll go be a drill instructor, sir. And I got about 10 years in, maybe. And he, next thing you know, I was at drill instructor school, man. And normally infantry guys, recon guys, infantry guys don't do real well on the drill field, man, because we got our own type of thinking. It's more those guys that were in avionics and stuff like that. They would do well on the drill field because they'd never seen anything like this. They weren't out in the field, stuff like that. So it was a pretty good tour. I went there as a sergeant. I came back as a gunnery sergeant, man. So these recruits are entrusted to your care. You really gotta watch yourself. And those of you that were drill instructors that got relieved, I apologize for that. But man, I got through there, skin of my teeth, man, skin of my teeth. Yeah, recruiting video, that was a picture of me on the recruiting video. And I met this dude, Mike Wooten, and Stephanie, you know Mike Wooten. But Mike Wooten's this type of guy. If an old man's cutting an apple and eating those doggone pieces off that jackknife, you might want to listen to him. But this old country boy, he turned me on to some different things. Just a good man, and best Marine I knew. Became a sergeant major. I was very proud of him. A little bit more drill field with that funny looking hat. Yeah, they stuck a camera up my ass for 12 weeks to make that video that most of you didn't see. And they took still photography. Can you imagine, man, if you just had like a knife or something? You just kill me right there. But my family appreciated this picture, of course. And it looks like the kid's smiling. That sucks. But, yeah, that's me. I'm real proud of that. I become the drill instructor of the year. I don't know how that happened. I'm like, aren't you looking through my record book? Didn't you see what I've done in the past? And most sergeants, major, and colonels took care of me. They swept things under the carpet and let me be me, which probably wasn't right, but here we are. So this is all I have from DI of the year, a friggin' clock they gave me, man. Maybe I have a certificate or something, but this is old Mike Wooten. This is the guy with the jackknife that if you saw him eating, and he's doing well in North Carolina now. Then I went to drill instructor school. So you're teaching it's the premier leadership school. That's what the Marine Corps says. So we're teaching these drill instructors or drill instructor school students to be DIs, man. And so it was pretty cool to end my tour as a buck sergeant and become a gunnery sergeant and be able to influence that. So that was kind of neat. This is General Battellini, and if you know Sergeant Major Carson. Yeah, just a Merry Christmas to you. My ego and my intensity, is just off the walls. I'm going back to the fleet. I'm going back to 3rd Battalion, 1st Marines, and I'm coming off the drill field, and I'm coming off hot. I'm a really, really influence some people, if you know what I mean. So pretty much I took over the battalion, and the physical parts of it, I would run from work about 16 miles, and then I would PT the company, and it was really sick stuff. It was a lot of ego, and it was a lot of things that brought trauma onto me. I never had anybody. Second wife later, it's me more at 3-1, and the kids, I still talk to these kids, man. It's pretty neat, man. So you feel good about yourself, and then Chesty again, he jams up. And Iron Mike Mervosh, you can't have enough of Iron Mike Mervosh. That's right, 3-war veteran right there, man. Yeah, he was one of my heroes, man. He was one of the ones that would talk to us and motivate us. You remember that. Oh, there's another one of that. So I come back, 3-1, we do the coal thing. I'm really pissed about these 18 sailors being a pink mist on the friggin' side of the wall. We're the first ones to respond to USS Cole bombing, if you remember, in 2000. And that was 90 pounds of explosives in a very small boat at the front. The shape charge of it killed all these kids. So I'm walking around there, man, I'm really pissed off, because I see the biggest part of a human is just a little tiny bone chip, man. It's a pink mist. And so 3-1 goes through that. We secure the area. We get it squared away. You remember we had to bring in some kind of thing from Sweden to carry the sucker out of there. We get back from deployment. I get selected for first sergeant. So that was kind of cool, but my ego said, no, I want to become one of the 53 gunners in the Marine Corps. Worst mistake I ever could have made. I became a chief warrant officer, so now you're a staff officer. You're not leading people anymore. You're not influencing lives as much. You're influencing the staff. It sucked. General Paxton, we wear civilian clothes. They taught us, we went to TBS and IOC and then all these other courses, and they taught us how to eat with a fork and stuff. Remember, we were enlisted Marines, so we become, So we got to wear civilian clothes to certain things. This is the first Marine gunner ever in the Marine Corps, Henry Hulbert. Pretty cool. If you go to the Marine Corps Museum, you'll see that. But there was only 53 at the time, so I thought my ego could handle that. I would be part of a 53-person group. And it was going downhill from there, man. It was all about me. And I would step on anybody to friggin' get what I wanted. And I wasn't what a Marine should have been at that point. It was just too much, man. And I'm telling you the truth, the only person I've ever told this to is Stephanie. So there's me with my officer's blues on. They come to like right here right about now. That's fun. Love to wear them to your ball or something, sir, but can't do that. So we all go through our course and stuff like that to 6 gunners. I'll show you a picture of us. They had to change a lot of rules at TBS when we went through there. We didn't salute people. We just thought we were the ego. All 6 of us had the ego. They changed a lot of things. That being said, we got sent out to most of the captains that taught we were all experts in our field: tactics, tows, mortars, artillery, all these things. So we'd sit in those classes and we'd just go to sleep, or we'd get up and start teaching the class for the friggin' captain. So it was just, and it was all ego flowed. And so Aberdeen Proving Grounds, we went there, did our thing. Scene of the crime, that's the 6 of us. Yeah, that's where I met my second wife, was at TBS, and that's not the way to do it, Jacob. Don't find your second wife while you're still married at TBS. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I'm a turd, and polishing this turd took a long time. Yeah, we got to put General Mattis in there. Chaos, as you gave him that moniker, General Tulin, if you're watching, listening. Does everybody know what chaos means, right? What General Tulin, when he was the OPSO for General Mattis. General Mattis was a lieutenant colonel at the time, I believe. No, full bird colonel, running 7th Marines. And General Tulin, if you're watching again, had the words chaos up on the whiteboard. Nobody knows this? Colonel has another outstanding suggestion. That's right. So that's, General, I've stopped crying now, sir. So that's a General Tulinism, the chaos. So the knife hand helps. That's me in a armory. I think the statute of limitations has passed. It was a classified armory, and we took a picture of NEM 79. I did that for you, Doc, just for you, brother. That is chaos as a captain. Not many people have that, but I knew this gentleman, and he shared with me that one. Iraq was a different story. Task Force 58, we went out with not the young Mattis, we went out with the older Mattis. He was a 1-star general. Task Force 58, we went out and secured Kandahar. More to come in Afghanistan, as you know, that was 2002. 2003, we crossed the line of departure. Here's me escorting a Bedouin woman across the street before we blow the shit out of a building with Raider, your guy. That was pretty cool. But we had to get her out of the way, otherwise she would have been a pink nest. After the Marine Corps, this is me with Cowboy John Mayer. Cowboy John Mayer was one of the battalion commanders that General Tulin was the regimental combat team leader for. I didn't get to that because I was a little verklempt when I came up here. Thanks, Paul. Lieutenant Colonel Mayer became a colonel, very proud for him. Sadr City, Paul asked me to go to with you, Sergeant Major, to a hog hunt the other day. And the Silver Star citation that was read, it was a really good writer. I remember the guy. And yeah, he had it right on that day, but every day was kind of like that. When we got to Sadr City, this is the note on the boar hunt. When we get to you told me about it, we were playing golf the other day. Hey man, you want to go to the boar hunt? We're just going to use K-bars and bayonets, and we're going to kill. And I'm thinking about when you said that, man, while we're playing golf. I was thinking about the guy that I gutted in Sadr City in a really dark room. I was out of rounds, and I was like, nah, I don't think I'm going to go to the hog hunt. Stephanie, you agree? Yeah. So, Paul, to give you a delayed answer on that. Yes, sir. Weddings happened. I was invited to the 2004 inauguration of George W. Bush with my daughter. It was an amazing, I escorted Barbara Bush out. It was pretty cool. So they made a big deal of it. Me and Brian Shantosh, Navy Cross winner, went out there. Yeah, we're still in DC. That's when I was awarded the Silver Star, the day I was. You meet up with anybody ever met up with the Medal of Honor Society? These dudes? Yeah, they give him a stipend. This guy's homeless. They give him a stipend because he was awarded the Medal of Honor. Right. They can raise it all they want, but he doesn't want to. He can't live in a home. But what a wonderful gentleman, man. He's your era, guys. Yeah, more articles came out. We did the 2008. That's Chesty again, by the way. 2008, we did the Vets for Freedom tour to promote the book. And Paul told me to bring all my stuff, and I'm looking for Foot Lockers on a campaign cover. I don't know. What do you bring? Maps? That probably wouldn't be good. The colonel and sergeant major would probably confiscate them and say, hey, man, that's classified. Anyway. Yeah, the M79, that would have been good, right, Doc? That being said, 2008, I was retired. I retired in 2005, and I did the Vets for Freedom tour, and that was with Pete Hegseth, our current. He was a kid then, man. He was just a young kid. He was running it, and it was for John McCain. We were driving in Tim McGraw's tour bus across the country. So I jumped in Kansas City, did a few tours, and did some speaking to promote those two books, The Silver Star and Heroes Among Us. Brad Castle's in the book, Marcus Luttrell, all that stuff. Those real heroes. There's chaos again. Telling us how we use our Marines. That's always good. What is the trauma of all this? I've started to recognize it. What's healing all about? That's my daughter. 2014, I promoted her to corporal. She's now the protocol officer at Naval Special Warfare out in San Diego. So I'm pretty proud of her. I wasn't a good dad. Not at all. I was focused on me. It was all about me. It was all about the Marine Corps. So you live with that. That's the trauma. Yeah. Everyone just wants to be liked and accepted. Except Tom. Tom doesn't give a shit. I've realized to accept people. Paul, I should go on about thank you for getting me out of the house. Helping me to realize that I do have friends. I really do have friends. And I don't have to walk around by myself and try to figure this out, man. It's pretty cool. You don't just need somebody to bury a body. You need friends, man. I'm learning that. But did I die? Last year, 19 years retired, I had a total breakdown. Survivor's guilt, they called it. Dude, it hit me like a ton of bricks. So if you're suffering, man, do something. Stephanie took me right to the VA. They did something about it. And I'm okay. And I'm okay, man. And that's pretty cool, man, when you can, because, after 19 years, you wouldn't think, right? But you old guys tell me, yeah. Went on to a successful career in the corporate world. Until 3 years ago, I joined the PGA. Doc told me to bring up PGA Hope. Any of you veterans that want to learn how to play golf, man, I'm a national instructor for the PGA Hope program. Go through the VA. The VA will help you out. Not everybody's as good as you, Senior Chief. You don't need those guys. But check it out with your VA. They'll get you 6 lessons free, man. It's pretty cool. So that's what I've been doing to help me heal from the trauma I've dealt with, whether it was when I was a kid or during combat or what have you. Everybody has trauma. And I recognize that having a daughter in the Marine Corps, having my second wife, albeit only 2 years, to understand that assault is assault and these trauma is trauma, and it happens. There's my dad. we're in good shape now after our physical altercation, 50 years ago. And oh, Stephanie, what are you doing? Stephanie and I met 7 years ago, and she's been the best thing that's ever happened to me, man. So I have peace. I'm at peace today. And any of you searching for peace, I hope that you find it. I didn't find it in Stephanie. We just found it together, man. And it was pretty cool. So if you had a shitty situation in the beginning, like me, or you were a turd, Stephanie, you're the polisher of turds, I would say. Ton Tavern, you know, I did some travel for work. You know, you got to take these pictures, and I wanted to share them with you. Every year, Stephanie does a Marine Corps birthday cake on the Marine Corps birthday. You can see me crying right there. I was so emotional. Marine Corps Museum. Hey, Marine Corps masks, you know. But we get better, man. I mean, talk about it. You're in Gay Paris, you know, driving a scooter. You're taking unauthorized pictures at NATO. My daughter was a protocol officer at NATO prior to that. More chesty. That's us. I shouldn't be driving a motorcycle. You can see how fucked up I am there. And golf, man. Golf has been given me, and we talk about in the PGA Hope program, a moment in time. Maybe that swing is a moment in time for you. Yeah. So it's pretty cool, man, to be able to do that, and to be able to do it with you. I appreciate that. There's always somebody out there training to kill you. Please continue your training. Well, that's all about you. There's a Swallows Inn that we worked in. I threw that picture in there. That was where we were bouncers, and we did a lot of destruction there, man. And it was good training. Hoists and so I enjoy being a grandpa. I enjoy the little things in life, going to Maui, hanging out with Stephanie. But yeah, you didn't know that was coming. It's not the real guy. He was just out there. But I'll tell you, peace is good, man. I mean, it's good to be at peace, because I wasn't, man. I wasn't for a long time. And if you're struggling, please get a hold of one of us. I mean, Paul got me out of my my little box, man. You can do it too, and everybody will be okay. Paul, thank you for everything that you do. Dan, thanks for having us. We appreciate that. Don't ever give me a reason, right? So a violent man can become. No, there's Jeff. Yeah. Jeff on his boat. There's Jeff. There's Jeff with his, yeah. I thought I had one more in here for y'all. Oh, there's the Colonel at his ball. So to be invited to a friggin' Marine Corps ball, man, nobody would have invited me to a Marine Corps ball back in my intense days. That's for damn sure, man. But we get to play golf, and we get to hang out with these three wonderful dogs, and I never thought I'd be telling you about that. I thought I'd be telling you about gutting somebody in Saddler City and things like that. But we move beyond, and sometimes when you're too intense, you really can't hit the ball very well, right, Senior Chief? That's for sure. But I appreciate everybody listening, at least, and it's better. That's another time we had a Marine Corps ball cake. We put up that flag every once a year on the 9th, and we take it down on the 12th. I really want to thank you for listening to me, because this helps me to get better when I do get that out there. And anybody struggling, please, raise your free hand in the air. You know Paul's there to help, and we're all here to help. But thank you very much.
Hang on, Tom.
Oh,
Anybody have any questions for Tom?
ain't no damn questions, man.
He told us everything we needed to know.
We want to talk about that tank. You ever tried to, you old guys, man, you ever tried to use that tank phone on the back of the doggone tank?
It never worked.
Well, I went to that one when I was told those tanks to, and there wasn't a tank phone. I was like, where's the tank phone? I had to run back to the other tank on the street here, and this was in just about the bridge before Alcoot. And yeah, Raider had already swam the Diala River. His buddy swam the Diala River to make sure we had no mines there. This is what these engineers do. Crazy. So we're like, all right, I go back to the second tank phone. I was like, dude, tell them all. This is how I'm talking, man. You know, I'm like, hey, turn to your left and just annihilate those buildings. It was pretty cool. I always wanted to use one of those tank phones. They never taught me how to use one. But they work pretty well, if you can find one, right? Is there any questions about my career or what we're doing to be healthy? Currently, I work in the hemp industry. We have the owner of the hemp company here. We provided a raffle ticket for you. CBD is good for you. And we know we're in Kansas. Nothing's full spectrum. So, any questions for me, gentlemen? Yes, sir.
So, did
he make you ask a question? Because it.
No, I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
Did you really get to meet Carlos Hathcock, and what was it like?
Oh, it was pretty cool, man. Right before he got ALS, man, he used to come out to the sniper school and speak with us and give us advice. His son became a national ranked pistol shooter, although he was an air winger. He was at Quantico for years, just playing on the pistol team. But yeah, it was pretty cool meeting Mr. Hathcock.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Since you're not on active duty, tell me what you think about force design bullshit.
Force design bullshit. The Marine Corps got rid of all their tanks, and sorry, Major, keep me honest on this. We got rid of all our tanks. Is that the type of thing you're talking about? We're a littoral-based industry, man, and that we got to be light. You know that, Doc. That's why the force structure change. Yes, sir. Jeff.
So my favorite story of you is your libo risk.
Ooh. Yeah, I was a liberal risk a lot of times. No, I can't, Jeff. I really can't get into a story about me being a liberal risk. But you know, you're my friend. You know I'm a liberal risk every time you go out with me. It is what it is. Sir?
Have you ever spoken at the Marine Military Academy in Harlingen, Texas?
I have not spoken at I've spoken at West Point.
Let's get you down to Lieutenant Colonel Bryant.
Good, man.
I can't
Yeah.
believe the Marines that have never heard of it. MMA-TX.org.
Oh, it's a big deal.
I found out about it through a golf tournament, and I wish there were 100 or 1,000 other places like it around.
Yes, sir. I don't know if I'm not one of those speakers that came in when I was a kid or the 3 war vets or stuff like that. Maybe they'd want to hear from me. I don't know.
Well, you talked about having young people here.
Yeah, I wish.
It's Marine Military Academy.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Stephanie and I teach the first tee of Greater Kansas City, Northland. We teach 7 through 9-year-olds on Tuesdays, and we teach 9 through 11-year-olds on Thursdays. And Stephanie has to be there with me to make sure that I do not snap a 7-year-old's neck.
Knife hand.
And I appreciate you for that.
That picture that you showed was in the National Golf Club in
Oh, yes, sir. I work there. Yeah. Jeff works there. Yeah.
Tommy Watson designed it.
Yes, sir. He comes out and sees us all the time. So you got to move around different golf clubs to be a pro. But this year, I'm done with that. I'm in the hemp industry, and I enjoy that. What else? Any questions about hemp? Emmett, you can answer those. I can't believe we didn't have more people here. I'm sorry. The CBD and the cannabinoid system, we're going to talk to Emmett about that, but the cannabinoid system is a system where CBD1 and CBD2 receptors are. If you win the friggin' the prize, then I guess you'll get the effects of that. But CBD is good for us. if you haven't figured that out. If you're getting up and you got pain, the stuff helps. And if not, go talk to Emmett Winslow, the owner of the stores that I manage.
All right. Well, if there aren't any more questions, Tom, thank you. Another round of applause for Tom.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, General Tulin, for being here.
General Tulin sending the whole film. All right, so now, before we get started on this raffle, does everyone have a ticket? If you're a veteran and have not received a ticket, please raise your hand. Do we get everybody? Yep. Couple back there. All right. The car, yeah. Okay. Hey, hey, real quick.